Hey, I've been out of work now. Tomorrow will be I can't believe a month goes by. If you took a month vacation, like you'll realize how short a month vacation actually is because tomorrow will be 4 weeks since I've been out of work and it feels like 2 days. I can imagine if I took a nice long trip to Italy or Greece or Asia, like I spent some time in Japan, maybe watching some sumo wrestling or what, like, and I took a month vacation and you're like, oh shit, I'm going to be going a month. Like I'm taking a long ass break. I'm going to travel the world for a whole month. You know, that month would be over before I even knew it. It's crazy. It's been a month. Anyway, it's been a month and I haven't found anything yet, but I've decided, like what I've decided is I'm not at this point in my life, I'm just going to pick the right thing. I'm not going to take any old thing that comes along. It really needs to be a good fit. So what that good fit is, I don't even know yet. Like, could be same industry, could be different industry, could be like self-employment. Like there's a lot of routes I could take. I have my eyes open. I have my ears open. I'm, trying to, I can't afford not to work. So I have to find something. I'm not desperate. Like I don't have to find something today, but like tomorrow, the next day, next week, whatever, I do need to like get it going. Right. So I need to find something, but I think, it would be, not prudent of me just to jump on the first opportunity that comes my way, and I've had a couple already actually, and they're not right for me, so I'm not going to do it because that would be just not it wouldn't be a good fit. Ultimately, it'd be a paycheck, but it wouldn't be a good fit. I would not be happy, and my employer would not be happy, and so why should I do that? But so as you look for work and like looking for a job is if you're just looking for a job, like if you say, okay, I just need to put in applications, submit my resumes, whatever it may be, and you're looking for a job, it's deeply depressing. It's deeply depressing. Because first of all, you can only look for a job so many hours a day, right? I mean, it's like how long, like the jobs, it's not like every day there is just a mountain of new job opportunities that you can find if you're searching on Indeed or LinkedIn or any of these other places. So, but what happens is you get into a routine where you wake up and you go on these sites and you start looking for a job, and they all basically have the same jobs, but nonetheless, you start on LinkedIn, you move over to Indeed, then you go to Glassdoor, then you go to whatever it is, right? And you're seeing the same jobs over and over and over again from all the different platforms. Like they all basically carry the same jobs. Number two, you notice that if you wanted to start working today, you can certainly, if you're in sales, right, and you needed a job today, you can get a job today. Like, and I'll tell you where you could get a job. There's a couple different places you could get a job today. Number one, the world needs solar salesmen. Yes, they do. There are hundreds of jobs for people selling solar energy, retail, meaning here's the job, and here's why there's so many openings, because here's the job is you put on maybe a vest of some sort, and then you pick a neighborhood, and then you walk around and you knock on doors and you try to sell people solar energy, right? And I've had people knock on my door, several, like it seems like there's a couple a week that come around and try to sell me solar energy. And you can imagine these are commission only jobs. So there's no, you're not going to get even like $500 a week for your efforts. You're going to sink or swim based on how many doors you can knock on and how many appointments you could get and how many solar, panels, jobs you could sell or whatever it is. And I mean, I guess that's fair. If you're in sales, you're not, if you're relying on a salary, then you're not the right guy for sales. But, I mean, that's a young man's game, I think. And like, I think that whole solar thing is done anyway. And so there's a lot of companies. So this must be a very profitable industry. And a lot of companies are springing up all over the place and they need salespeople. I'm not knocking the door. First of all, I don't want to get shot. Okay. We live in a world now. You knock on the wrong door, there's going to be somebody on the other side of the door with a 30-06 or was it 30-8, poking holes in you, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not doing that. Like, I don't know. I just don't trust it. So I'm not doing that. The other one is the other job you could get right away. Well, there's kind of two in one, is like home improvement salespeople. And The two that I see all the time are roofing salespeople and bathroom remodeling, like this. These 1-day bathroom remodeling places. Now there's a couple of like nationally known franchises that do like the bathroom remodeling, but then there's like a slew of other companies, and they all need salespeople. And I think the same thing applies. You got to like knock on doors. I'm thinking you got to go in. Replacement windows too. That's another one. Replacement windows. So home services salespeople, if you need a job, you wanna, go. You can get that job today. That's without a doubt. I mean, I think they'll basically if you have a pulse, if you have a heartbeat, if you could speak even a little bit of English, you could get that job. And I'm sure you can like I'm not saying to get rich, but I'm sure you could make a living doing that, honestly. But, here's a little thing too. When I was in 2008, I used to be in the mortgage business, and the mortgage business was really good, and I made really good money in it. But in 2008, when the housing market collapsed and all these lenders collapsed, well, so did my mortgage company collapsed, right? Just like overnight, literally overnight collapsed. And I had family, I had young kids at the time, and I needed to make a living. So, and there were not a lot of jobs. I mean, this was the Great Recession. There was just, unemployment was very high, and there were just not a lot of jobs. But even then, there were jobs in home improvement sales. And I took a job with a cabinet refacing company. So the job was, selling, going into people's houses, and I'll describe it. I'll describe it. So first of all, let me explain with the job commission only. No. So I forget. I think it was on. I forgot how I got the job, but. Commission only, and I had an interview, like a phone interview. It wasn't even a real interview. And the guy says, I remember the guy had a southern Texas drawl, and I think he was from down south. He's like, well, this is a commission only job. I mean, can you handle that? I'm like, I'm in sales. Like, if I'm relying, just what I said earlier, if I'm relying on a paycheck, on a salary, then I shouldn't even be in sales, sir. Well, good. You got to come on. Yeah, we'll set you up with that job. So you have to get a home improvement sales license, which is essentially just paying a fee to get that. And then I had to go to this place, and they had somebody that trained, like a sales manager that trained me how to sell cabinet refacing. And there's a lot. I am not good when it comes to like anything to do with construction, home improvement. I have zero skills, right? Zero skills. So I had to learn how to measure. You sold it by linear foot, so not square footage, by linear foot. I had to learn all that. And so the job was this, that they had people, not me, but they had people that would roam around Home Depot stores. So this company was the exclusive cabinet refacing company for Home Depot. So if you went into Home Depot, they sell real kitchens, but then they would have these people that would roam the stores, and here's what their sales pitch was. Hey, do you want a free design consultation in home? We have people that come in and give you a consultation on how to redesign your bathroom. It's a free service. And people would say, yeah, sure, why not? And those were the leads. So you would go into this office once or twice a week, but in the morning, every single morning, the sales manager would send you would have 2 appointments in the morning and then 2 appointments at night. So they would send you in the morning, they would send you your appointments for the morning shift. So there'd be like one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Then you come home, and then there'd be an appointment at like 5 o'clock, and then an appointment at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Now here's what they would do, and here's how they do it, is they send you your appointments. One appointment, I live in Connecticut, okay? So I live in the New Haven area. So one appointment could be like in Springfield, Massachusetts, which would be from here like an hour and 10, 15 minutes away. It could be in Springfield, Massachusetts. So now I'm driving to Springfield, Massachusetts. And then the second appointment would be, let's say, down in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is like an hour to my house, and then another like hour to Greenwich. So from that appointment, your next appointment could be like 2 hours away, and they didn't care. Like, it wasn't like they would try to, schedule your appointments so they're at least somewhat close together. They didn't care. One's in Springfield, the next one's in Greenwich. One's in Danbury, the next one's in New London. They didn't care at all, And you would take, they gave you these bags of these like big briefcase, like big square box, and you would walk in, you'd knock on the door, and then you would walk in with that's only me, pal. You would walk in with your bags of I freaked my dog out. You would walk in with your bags of cabinet doors. So you walk in the house and you're like, hey, I'm from Home. I forgot if we said we were from Home Depot. If we said we were from, it was the company's called like American Remodeling or something like that. But it was exclusive to Home Depot, and I think Home Depot actually bought that company out now. So you walk in, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes the appointments were in like these really sketch neighborhoods, and you'd be walking from your car with these two bags. Like, I'm not even gonna make it to the door, so I'm gonna get mugged and shot. So you walk in, yeah, I'm from American Remodeling, whatever. So the thing they would do is they would have like a big like piece of like a certificate, and you would start. This is how they teach you how to do it. You would start and you would say, because this is a one call close. So in other words, these sales appointments, there's never going back. You either close it on that call or it doesn't close at all. It's a one call close. They don't even allow you to go back. It's like a one call close. So you'd walk in and you'd have this certificate and it would say $500 off today only. So they teach you that when you walk in, you start and you say, hey, before we even get started, I want to let you know that we have special, it's like, because it costs so much for us to get the leads and have salespeople like me, traveling long distances, we really value doing business on the first day. And so this is really only good for today. But if you decide, and there's no pressure, by the way, there's no pressure at all. But I do want to let you know that if you went ahead today, you would receive, because of what I mentioned earlier, you would receive $500 off. And you place that on the counter and you just left it there so they could see it for the whole time. And then you start and you would go and say, let me get a measure of your kitchen. You would measure the kitchen, how many linear feet, up, down. You look inside the cabinets. Do they have Lazy Susan, whatever it is? And you get the whole thing. Say, okay, it looks like you got whatever, I don't know, 50 linear feet of cabinets. Then you take out your cabinet doors and you start laying them on the counter. It's like, hey, which ones do you like? What kind of cabinets do you like? You like oak, you like, I don't even remember the names of them. You like ply, you like why? And then you would like lay them on the door and say, and you put them up and you're like, oh, that looks nice. Yeah, you like that. And so you start to get them into it, And then you give them the sales pitch of, hey, we can have this done 1 day, 2 days. And here's the thing. If you wanted to remodel your kitchen, like a complete remodel, you're going to have to pull the cabinets off the door. It's going to be weeks or months or whatever. But with this cabinet refacing, we'll put you new doors, we'll reface the cabinets. You could have it in a day with a brand new cabinet. So there was a sales pitch to it. And then you would, you would kind of give them the prices based on what they picked and blah, blah, blah. And if, you had to really pressure to close on that day or, you weren't going to get the deal. And they weren't going to get the $500 off. And so that was the job. And I had just been in the mortgage industry where I'm not saying, I was a Wall Street Titan, but I had it pretty good. I was making good money. I was getting people homes, like the whole 9 yards. And now I'm going essentially door to door selling cabinet refacing. And it was a very hard sale. And it was a hard sale because I'm not a high pressure person, for one. So I just don't, it's not how I operate. I don't appreciate high pressure sales. I couldn't apply the kind of high pressure that it would take to really be successful at a job like that. Number two, we were in the middle of the Great Recession. So nobody had any friggin' money. Nobody had money. So we would have to encourage people to apply for a Home Depot credit card, and we could put it on the credit card. And then, so people would be, sometimes you go through the whole thing for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and you get them. They applied for the credit card and it got denied. And so it was a shit show. And I was not happy. Not happy at all. And I would come home and I would be angry. I'd be angry. I'd be angry. I'd be angry to my wife, and it wasn't good for the kids. It was just terrible, So not being in a place that's a good fit, that doesn't align with like who you are, like your soul, whatever it is, that's a bad thing. It's not a good thing. But that's where I was. And I guess my point is that those jobs are out there right now. You can have one right now. By the way, I was terrible at it. I kind of have dyslexia, like a little bit. I think I have a lot of problems, right? I kind of have dyslexia, and my measurements were always wrong. And then I would sell something, and then I would get a note from the sales manager after the things were installed. They're like, well, we have to charge you back. You under measured this, that, or the other thing. I'm like, oh shit. So half my jobs didn't get paid for. It was terrible. And also, the sales manager he was like MAGA before there was MAGA. I'm talking about 2008, and this guy was like hardcore Newt Gingrich loving and he would do his sales meetings and I'm not, this is not a political show, but certainly not a hardcore right wing Republican, right? And so he would always layer right wing talking points into all of his sales. It was just a horrible existence. Horrible existence. I don't want a horrible existence anymore. Like I don't want to. I'm at that point in my life where I just want a good existence, and everybody deserves a good existence. I think and especially if you've been around a while, it's like, okay, enough of this shit. So that's where I am. And if you need a job, if you want to sell solar, you want to sell same day bathrooms or roofing, those jobs are out there for you. Better jobs, should that be the route you want to take, they're harder to come by. Those resumes, those applications are not getting answered at all in most cases. And from what I understand and what I'm seeing online, people have been out of work for months and months and months. And it's like half these jobs are what they call ghost jobs. They're not even real job postings, but companies put up job openings without ever having the intention of hiring people, which is bullshit too. But it's the world we live in. And I think they do it to make themselves look like they're growing more than they're growing. A lot of people just want to have, a bullpen of possible candidates should they need them. So they may be considering somebody for the future, but not now, but they're collecting resumes and interviewing people. And there's just a lot of crap that goes on in the job market. Another thing I noticed too is that there are all kinds of scammers. Like once I posted I was on the hunt for a job, all kinds of scammers were contacting me through LinkedIn, somehow got my email address. They were contacting me on email and even texting me on my phone about these. And you could spot that they're fake. I mean, if you're somewhat aware, that they're fake, about these amazing job opportunities that they have, and text me back and blah, blah, blah. And who knows? I don't even know what the scam is on the other side, but you just know it's a scam, right? That's what the world is like right now if you're looking for a job. So hopefully if you are in the job market, you're not in a situation where like you need to get something today, where you have to sacrifice your moral code or what it is you want to be when you grow up, type of thing. Hopefully you have a little bit of breathing room so you don't have to be desperate. Being desperate's the worst position you could be in when you need money, you need a job. It'll make you do things that you would never consider. It'll make you take a job you never would have thought of. And it will cripple your happiness in the long run. So that's my, that's what I have to talk about today. If you like this video, and I don't see why you would like it, but if you do like it and you want to see more of them, hit the subscribe button, I guess. Like the video, leave a comment. I appreciate that. By the way, I have to get back to there are a lot of comments in my last video about, me getting unemployed, and I haven't been really that's the wrong word. I've been a little depressed, right? So I should be on top of it more than I am, and I'm gonna get to those comments. I promise you, because I think anybody that leaves a comment, most people, they deserve at least some acknowledgement that I seen it, I read it, and that their voice is heard one way or the other, whether they're for me or against me. Like I think I owe people that. And so to as much as I can, I'm trying to get, I try to get to comments, and I will do that. I promise.